Hello, welcome to our next episode of the Founder Ride. Today's topic is A-Team development, A-Team recruitment, having A players on your team. As we've talked about in the past, we have our Founder Ride where the first phase is always intoxicating, where you're super excited. Second phase is trapped, which is where in our last episode I was trapped. The third phase is light at the end of the tunnel, which is where I am today. I can see that we're making progress and moving forward, and there's light at the end of the tunnel, moving towards that acceleration stage with the idea of getting to sustainability. I very much view 2025, in my head, in my heart, my emotions, that's an accelerating year for us. We've spent so much time putting technology in place and processes in place, hired to new positions, turned over our team, that we're in a really good spot for 2025 to be accelerating. And hopefully it lasts a whole year. I don't want to get to sustainability too quickly because we made these big investments in time, effort, people, and money to be accelerating. And speaking of people and money, A-Team, A players. So let's talk a little bit about A, B, and C players, the way we define them. An A player is a person who does their job extremely well and lives and breathes your core values every single day. They're a delight to have around the team. They believe in what you do. They're great companions and comrades to the other team members, great team members in general, and they want to serve your clients well, your customers well. A B player, this is important to understand, a B player in the way we define it is somebody who really lives and breathes your values, but they don't have enough context. They're not old enough or not been with your company enough to perform their job exceptionally well. They're going to get there. They're going to get there at some point in time. And a C player, in my opinion, is everybody else. I think most entrepreneurs are content having A players and B players and C players. And in part, I'd even say pre-COVID, people were content having C players on their team. Clearly with COVID, with the whole change in work ethic and labor force and hybrid work, remote work, et cetera, the whole labor market just was very, very volatile. And it's less volatile today than it was in 2020 and 2021, but it's still pretty volatile. I still believe it's important for entrepreneurs to focus on only having A and B players. I think a goal should be to not have any C players on your team. And so I want you to take just half a second, and kind of clear your brain, clear your thoughts, and imagine a situation where you went to work every day, however that happened, where you only had A and B players on your team. Think about how delightful that would be. Think about the lack of drama, the lack of training people. You're always investing in new ideas and new things with your team, but you're not rinse and repeat things that don't have to be rinsed and repeated. Think about having a team where they brought innovation on themselves, where they figured out how to solve problems independently, how they innovated new products and new ideas without assistance from you, where you had a team full of A players that were challenging themselves over and over and over again, and building better processes and systems and helping your clients and your customers better, just overall. This seems awesome, right? I think it's attainable too. I think you just have to have a culture of always seeking A players, always expecting A player behavior. We're human beings, we make mistakes, we have bad days. That's not going to change for sure. And we have to be patient with those bad days, right? But it doesn't really, it doesn't change that you should pursue trying to have A and B players all the time. I do believe that having those open and honest conversations with your C players, like, hey, in order for you to stay here, you have to do these things, whatever they are, live and breathe our values. It's hard because you, as an entrepreneur and your leadership team, have to hold people accountable, which is never fun to do, and, reminders around A player behavior. And more, and I think this is going to be a truth for a long time, you have to make investments in your training and your culture to continue invest into your people from a time perspective, content perspective, about how to get better at their jobs and how to be A players. And it's also one of the things that small businesses struggle. When I think about one of the differences between large businesses and small businesses, large businesses have middle management. They also have a lot of dollars for training and dollars for investing in people. And it's tough in a small business. I don't care how small you are. It's just simply hard to do. However, in light of what our last conversation, our last podcast, it's a strategic decision in your business to make that investment in people to help them grow, help them be better, help them serve your clients better, and help your business be better and have better enterprise value. So there's lots and lots of tools out there, lots of resources out there around A players, and certainly the tools I mentioned in our last podcast around EOS and Pinnacle and MAP and Rockefeller Habits all have tools. I'm a huge believer in Culture Index, which we use Culture Index. There's another tool called Predictive Index, which is substantially similar to help you get right people, right seat, and understand that. And that's a big piece of it, by the way. Not only having A players, right people, but they've got to be in the right seat too. And that seat review, what seats do you need on the bus? And they change, as business gets bigger and more sophisticated and changes, you need to evaluate what seats do we have on the bus and make sure those right people are on there. I know we went through a big process in 2024 with respect to, really evaluate our people. And the conclusion was, in general, we have the right people, but we didn't have them in the right seats. So we had to do some tweaking around making sure we had the appropriate seats. And it's a work in progress always. But much like the strategy conversation we had last time, engaging in the right people, right seat, A player behavior is an ongoing, continued process. It's not a moment in time. It's not a one and done. It's something you have to continue to invest in. And it's important. And along those lines, by the way, I think career path, when you have A players, they want to understand their career path and what that looks like. And sometimes there is no career path for somebody because the business is simply not going to be big enough. And that's a difficult, hard conversation that maybe for this person to grow, they need to leave your organization. I'd rather have that conversation proactively than reactively. In other words, rather than your A player show up one day and just quit, I'd rather have that conversation proactively to make sure that if they are going to depart, do it on a friendly basis, do it on a coordinated basis, right? Hopefully, though, if your business is growing, which is what the goal is, right, that you have the ability to have career paths for your A players along the way. Really important topic. Those companies that do this well have better enterprise value, have better cultures, and also, I think, simply have more fun when it's all said and done. And if you can't have fun in your business, why are you doing it? Thank you for your time today. I appreciate it. As always, feel free to call and ask any questions. Our next episode is Fire Fast, which is certainly related to this topic today, because in order to, look, nobody has the ability to always and only hire A and B players. It just doesn't happen, right? You're going to hire C players along the way. When you do, you got to fire them quickly. Thanks, and have a good day.